I have Box Van Dee here, and I was going to ask her about her experience with depression and suicide, and she's talked about it on her channel. And I just wanted to get her thoughts since I had this opportunity to meet up with her.
Okay, first let me thank you for asking me. Thank you for talking to me about this. I think it's a really serious subject, especially right now. People are feeling very depressed with the pandemic. A lot of people are really messing up because they let it get to them so bad and they can't cope. So I've dealt with depression for myself most of my life, especially when I was a teenager. It was a very difficult time. Even in those days, I would go take a walk into the woods. I had some coping skills, thank God, okay? And I would go take a walk into the woods and just sit in the trees and try to, I guess, I don't know what we'd call it, but um, absorb the surroundings, I guess.
Yeah,
It would
it's
calm
very
me. It would
healing.
help me. I would cry and talk to myself, I guess, or even talk to God at that time.
Yeah.
And I would. It was helpful. As I got older and the problems got worse, my depression followed me. And like I said, I've been dealing with depression almost my whole life. And as an adult, you change. You're thinking you. What I was doing is taking all the problems upon myself. I felt I was to blame for everything that ever happened to me in my life. I didn't have a support system. I had nobody to talk to. I didn't wasn't in therapy at first. For many years later, I did get some therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I felt hopeless. I felt like the whole world was against me. I felt anger. I felt resentment. All those feelings that go in with depression, I felt nobody loved me. Nobody understood me.
Mm-hmm.
I had nowhere to turn. Much later, I did get into some therapy, and that helped a little bit. I think the one-on-one therapy helped me much more than group
Yeah.
therapy. I did some group therapy, but I didn't need to hear about everybody else's depression. It made me more
Yeah.
depressed.
Because when I went through my depression in 2019, one thing that sort of helped me through was Lauren Daigle came out with a video for her song
Mm.
Rescue.
Oh,
And
yeah.
said like exactly like what I was feeling, Um, I don't have the lyrics right here in front of me, but I've listened to it so many times. She said, "You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten."
I have a song, Mariah Carey, Hero. That's a song that did it for me
Mm,
because what it says is you can look inside yourself. That's what I had to do, is look inside myself and see if I had anything of value.
mm-hmm,
It was hard, but I was going through therapy during that time. I was able to look from the outside in instead of
mm-hmm.
instead of
Yes.
feeling everything. I was able to look at
Mm-hmm.
myself from a different angle and see if I saw anything of value there. So music, those songs like the one you just named, that were the
Mm-hmm.
hero, I think music is very,
So,
very healing.
mm-hmm.
I don't mean to get
Yes.
emotional. That
Yeah.
those songs, bring up so much emotion in me,
Mm-hmm. Me
and
too.
that's part of the healing. You have to allow yourself to feel something different.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes. Feel something different.
Yeah.
So I talked about that on my last live
Mm-hmm.
stream because I did, and I want to stress that I did get therapy. I got therapy with BetterHelp,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to my local health department and found out that they were doing free therapy,
Right.
and that was the best therapist I had
Right.
ever had. Was the free therapist who was in
Right.
school
I know.
at
Amazing.
Macon State. Yeah,
It's true.
because
I can't discredit therapy. I think most of my healing Red, to tell you the truth. Most of my healing came from later, in the last 5 years. And I talked about that in my series on my life. But the thing is, once I got outside of myself and started looking around, nature again, nature and music and all those things, everything. The healing comes from living, and a lot of living, and the healing comes from attitude. All my thought life, I felt sorry for myself. I felt like I was a victim. Once I got out of that mentality, I quit thinking of myself as a victim. I found some positive things in life. It was the beginning of the real healing. So in the last 5 years, I've done a lot of healing. I'm still healing. We're never gonna get, but I
Still
don't feel
healing, too.
suicidal. I haven't felt
Yeah.
suicidal in a long, long time. Just before my journey, actually, I was very suicidal, very depressed.
Yes, it was
And-
before my journey too.
Okay, so see, so the journey is healing. The journey is healing.
It is.
So,
Right.
5 years ago, when I started the real healing, because it was actually the year before that song hit me, okay? So I had already started healing. When I got out of the situation that's pulling me down, dragging me down, and I started to think outside of myself and look around and feel what's going on in my life, find the positive. I swore to myself I would find positive in everything.
Yes.
And if you don't change your thinking, you're not going to feel better, period.
Exactly. Yeah, and one of the videos I did about my depression, and it had been Thanksgiving, and I had finally left Illinois in my RV, and I was at my son's for Thanksgiving, and I did the video and talking about my depression and why I was thankful
Right.
for rats. I was really super depressed before the rats were in my house, but my friend moved into my house temporarily, and I was so thankful she was there, because being so depressed, and then if I had discovered the rats were there and I was
Right.
alone, I would be like, get it.
Right.
This is the final straw.
That's it. We're
Yeah.
done.
I'm done. This is it. Now, you know,
Exactly.
because so many things. My relationship with my kids was strained, and so that was depressing. I couldn't find a job. I was deep in debt. It was.
I will
just
add
so-
that, I will add to this, what you just said, is depression doesn't come from one thing. Usually it's a culmination of all tons of things.
Yes.
When I first dealt with depression as an adult, everything happened all in 1 year. You know, tons, like a domino effect.
Yeah.
One thing happened, something else. You were dealing with all these different issues. And it makes you feel like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I can't go on like this. I don't want to do this anymore. And you start feeling that.
Yeah. It's
Why
like I
would-
can't win. It's like my
Exactly.
publisher screwed me over. My shady lawyer, and
Right.
now my kids were my whole life, and now
Right.
they're
Your
not.
marriage
I don't
is
have
ending.
anything. Yeah, I don't have anything. You
Right.
know, I was like, what? You know,
So what have you done to heal?
and so I thought therapy.
Sorry.
I got therapy, like I said,
Right.
and this is maybe kind of controversial, but I was talking to Paula on my live stream last time that I decided to stop being celibate because I had been celibate for 5.5 years, and it just sort of got my mind on something else, and I
Even
realized that
physical
wasn't.
helps.
Yeah, and I realized that, you know, because people would say stuff about me even when I was like Miss Goody
Right.
Goody Two Shoes, and so I was like, okay, well, let's give them something real to talk about.
Let's give
But
them
anyways.
something to talk about.
So I was just, and it only lasted like about a month,
Right.
and but anyways, it got my mind off of it, and I want to stress again that I also got therapy.
Right.
Because I started forming a plan, and I just didn't want to, and it was kind of good. Oh, my earring just fell off. it was kind of good that I didn't have any money to travel, because what I wanted to do was, I was like, I just want to disappear. I'm just
Yeah.
going to be like one of those people, like,
Right.
I'm going to go somewhere hiking and I'm just going to go off and I'm just going to
Nobody
be
will
gone. They
ever,
won't
ever
know.
find me.
They won't
Yeah.
know. They won't
Exactly.
know. Did she, they won't know. And so that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't have any money to go anywhere.
How many women do you think that this kind of thing happens to you? Men too, but I think women are more of women go through depression and suicidal feelings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I personally think that it affects women as a general rule. It's not always true, but a general rule, women are more emotional. Maybe that's why we take it so hard. Then there is the men that are not able to allow themselves to feel.
Yeah.
That take life.
It's
very
hard with the men. So I believe that my brother suffered with the bipolar depression, and I think that he was in and out of the hospital for it, and I think that we think that he took something.
So you have a brother that, correct me, you have a brother that committed suicide or
We
something
think
like
it
that?
was possibly
Yeah.
he did. He was in the state hospital
Yeah.
in San Jose
Right.
because of depression.
Right. So I think I mentioned this, I think, in one of my videos, but I'm pretty sure I did. My son, when he was 19, he was very depressed. Very depressed. And within a year, he came to Arizona, and he got in a swimming accident. I always wondered if he died from suicide, accident, or drugs. I never knew. That also caused a bad trigger in my depression and suicidal feelings. Because when you have a family member that does that, it almost makes you feel like you're justified in your thinking. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, it's very hard.
Yes.
It's very hard on the family.
So I feel like, just kind of to let you kind of end what I was saying, is I think because I've been through so many years of depression, I'm on the road. I feel like I'm getting there. And I don't think its journey is over. The journey will not be over till I leave this world. But hopefully, I won't do it in the wrong way. When it's time for me to go, then I will have felt like I did all the healing I could. And I hopefully, these kind of talks with other people will help other people to begin the healing journey. I don't know. I just hope, that's my prayer, that like you're doing this
That is my hope too.
topic, and I know that's the reason you want to help other people.
So Dee, do you feel like the nomad lifestyle is helpful to your depression?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I had no freedom. I didn't know where to go, what to do. I had no goals, no desire in life. And when I became a nomad, that's where I went to. I was living in a car. That was still pretty depressing. But as I started embracing that life, I found I loved it. I found the nomad life, it gave me ability to cope with one thing. You have a lot of time alone as a nomad. You have a lot of time to think about things and what you can do. You have to do something, you know? You're just gonna disintegrate, disappear in that little mountains. So I had to think about the issues and how I could heal. And so I think living like this, it also, not just the thinking, activity. You get busy. When you're living like this, you're always having things to do.
Yeah.
Just daily life,
had to
much
empty my
more
back
than a
tank.
house, you know?
Last week.
I have to empty the pee jug every day, whether I want to or not, right?
Pea jug.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
seriously.
Pea jug is my black
I
tank.
had to get out the vinegar water to clean my dishes. You can't leave
Yeah.
cup out overnight or 2 days like you can in the house. So I had to get busy. I had to start doing things. I had to be organized. When you're organizing yourself, you are also organizing your brain. You know, things start coming together. Things start fitting. Makes things start making sense. So nomad life is starting to structure me. It's a healing. It's
Yeah.
part of the healing. Everything around me is wonderful. I get to see all the sides. I get to feel and the beauty, the sky, the earth, the mountains, the desert, the plants, the animals. But all the things you have to do in daily life, I think that affects me a lot because I realize I'm too busy to be depressed. I have
Yeah.
too much going on around me to allow myself to be in a negative mood anymore. I can't allow that. I had to focus on what's going on now and what's going on now. How can you be unhappy when you see a sunset?
Yeah.
How can you be happy when you look at the different mountains, uh, the stars at night, the
Yeah.
campfires with friends, where when you're socializing with people a little bit? I didn't do it a lot of it to begin with at all, really, for a couple years. But once I started to do that, that's been a lot of healing for me. My
Yeah.
YouTube channel has been a big healing for me because people encourage me. They send me
Yeah.
comments and say, Dee, you know, you're right. I appreciate that. You know, you're, you make me feel better when you talk about those things. So it's a healing, not me. Maybe it's helpful to them, but it's even more helpful to me
Yeah.
that I know I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Now, when I was depressed, I had no purpose, had no hope.
Yeah.
I have a purpose in life. I have hope. I hope. You know, I have the hope that I.
That's one of my favorite words.
So, nomad life has changed a lot for me, truthfully.
Yeah.
The healing started with therapy, then music, then slowly,
Yeah.
different things in my life make me feel better. Started to see that life in a different. I'm trying to think of how I can really sum this up, but the bottom line is everything that's gone on in my life in the last 5, 7, 8 years, even the struggles, have helped me grow. And grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
Yeah.
That's all healing. And my depression is almost, can't say never, but it's almost non existent. There are moments when I feel down. But then something happens, or I start thinking, don't let yourself
Yeah.
go there. You don't have to go there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay? It's gone. You don't. You're not a victim anymore. You
Yes.
are in charge of your
That's
life.
a good thing to say.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel. I say I'm survivor. I'm a
Right.
survivor.
Exactly. And nobody can make you feel bad anymore. You don't have to let that affect you.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at in my life now. 5.5 years of nomad life. Got out of a really rough lifestyle, a lot of depression, had a lot of losses, and that's some things that trigger people to be depressed or suicidal. Things that happen in your life, you know, make you feel like you said, what's the point?
Yeah.
I can't go there anymore, right? So now I don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm determined to stay healthy. I'm determined to do what I have to do in this life that I have today. I may not live in a fancy house. I may not have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of things. Things can't make you happy. Can help you
Yeah.
make
I got rid of a
make
lot of things.
life a little easier, but it doesn't make you happy.
It doesn't. I had a lot of things.
So I've
It's
learned
not
that
happy.
nomad life for me, it is not for everybody. But
Yeah.
the struggle even of nomad life is for me a healing. That's that's really what I can say about nomad life and depression and suicide. I tried to kill myself a couple of times. I was so low. I didn't want to go on. I never feel that way anymore, ever. And I can't say everybody will heal the same way. Different things work for
Yeah.
different people. Community has helped me a great deal. This
Yeah, me
community
too.
of YouTube, the
Oh yeah.
community of friends, connections that I've made. I know that I don't know, I found people like I can talk to you very comfortably, okay? So same thing with Tanya and Derek and Blue Wave Odyssey. I can talk to Blue Wave for hours. If I have something on my heart, I can get it out, right? He would never come at with something negative to pull me back down. No, he'll say something uplifting. That's where the community, the
Yeah.
people connections that you make heal. They can
Yeah.
heal. I think everybody
Absolutely.
needs friends and people that love them.
Yeah.
And I am loved. I am
You
loved.
are.
I am blessed.
You are, dude.
And I love you too, Red. Thank you for having me on
You're welcome.
your
Thank you.
video. I appreciate that. I hope I have said something that helps somebody else.
I'm sure you have.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
So, but in the one-on-one therapy, that did help because
Sorry about the gardener.
oh, you can pause it there.